Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to another Let's Learn QuickBooks stream where I will be tackling the QuickBooks Online certification in my effort to become a QuickBooks ProAdvisor. So I'm going to be learning QuickBooks here. You can watch and learn with me, and hopefully we all take something away from this. So let's take a look at what I am seeing right now. Here's my screen. I'm already logged into QuickBooks Online Accountant. So I'm going to hit training. Now, let's see where we are. Where did we left off? Did we finish this? CPE assessment? I believe we did. I recall we did. So let's go back and move on to the next module, which is preparing clients' books. So there are 7 lessons over here, 10 minutes for the first 5, and then 5 minutes for the subsequent 2. Let's see what we can get done tonight. This is a late night stream. It's past 11 p.m. at my current location on the East Coast. What's going on, Debbie? How you doing? Let's get started over here. So, key tasks for year end. Preparing clients' books. Key tasks for year end. Let's get started. Okay, so key tasks for year end. The story so far. It's been a busy year for Dan Chang. His business has really taken off, and now he's nearing the end of his first year as a small business owner. Year end is always an important time for clients and their accounting professionals. It's time to take a long, hard look at the business activities and to make sure everything is correct and as it should be. Of course, this is not always the case, especially with clients in their first year. They can make mistakes, and for this reason, end of year reviews should be robust enough to identify errors, but also provide opportunities to remind clients of best practices and appropriate workflows. How can QuickBooks Online help? More often than not, clients are not prepared for and need some support, especially in their first year in business. Your support plus the features of QuickBooks Online make a winning team that will guide business owners through this annual process. In this lesson, we'll look at the key activities for clients and accountants at year end and at how QuickBooks Online can keep everything neat and tidy throughout the year in preparation for this important time. Okay. Okay, so of course, the year end process will differ depending on the client, their business type, and how busy their year has been. Let's take a look at the most important activities as year end approaches. I just want to read this again. They made a mistake. Therefore, I don't know, preferred for and need some support, especially in the first year. Okay, learning outcomes. In this lesson, you'll learn how to 1. Identify the appropriate key tasks, reports, and tools for preparing a client's books for year or period end. Recognize how to easily access period and year end reports and tools via the Accountant Toolbox. Topics include year end accounting checklist part 1, year end accounting checklist part 2, reports and tools, and ProAdvisor challenge. Let's see, what is this located? Okay, perfect. Let's move on back and continue with the lesson. Year end accounting checklist part 1. Okay, I forgot to do something. I forgot to make a new tab on my notes over here for year end key tasks for year end. Let's see if I can fit that all on the tab name over here. click that here. Make a link over here. 23. There. Now let's bring this back over here to the other screen, my other monitor. Okay, so let's move on with the lesson. Year-end accounting checklist part 1. So I'm going to make copies of these checklists over here because this seems like important information. Check year-end accounting checklist. Okay, here's an overview of some of the key tasks that... Oh, almost forgot my music. See if I could turn something on over here. Oops. Let's see, downloads. See how this is. Play that the other time. Let's see if I got something else playing. Nah. Okay, let's play that for now. Year-end accounting checklist part 1. Here's an overview of some of the key tasks that you will need to consider at year-end. Select the heading to find out more. Okay. Verify that balance sheet accounts are reconciled. Okay. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to make notes over here or copy the notes. Screen capture. Oops, this is actually long. So let's see if I can capture it all. Okay, let's see that. So, verify that balance sheet accounts are reconciled. After your client's bank and credit card accounts should be reconciled to their statements. You may need to help clients with this to make sure it's done properly. Make sure the reconciliation wasn't automatically adjusted and that there are no changes to reconciliations that affect the ending balance. QuickBooks Online has a number of forensic tools like the Reconciliation Discrepancy Report function that can help you troubleshoot accounts that don't add up. Reconciliation history reports in QuickBooks Online are great tools to help you determine that all balance sheet accounts are reconciled. Other balance sheet accounts such as fixed assets and other receivables like employee loans or liabilities such as bank loans or unearned income need to have supporting details reports showing what makes up the ending account balance. Payroll liability accounts should match payroll tax calculated for the period and paid in the next period. Key actions. Verify amounts from reconciliation match the balance sheet. Key reports. Balance sheet, reconciliation summary, reconciliation history by account, reconciliation discrepancy, and payroll liability. Okay. Balance sheet, reconciliation summary, reconciliation history by account, and reconciliation discrepancy and payroll liability. All right, let's move on to the next one. And let me type these notes up. Review profit and loss account activity. Okay, let's do a screenshot of this. Okay. So, once the balance sheet accounts are reconciled, this is a good indication that most of the financial activity has been recorded. Next, you can review the profit and loss account activity using the Reclassify Transactions tool to make sure transactions have been categorized in the proper account and clean up any miscategorized transactions. Making sure there are no entries in uncategorized income and uncategorized expenses on the profit and loss QuickBooks Online is a good tip too. Let's see. Payroll, wage, and tax expenses should match payroll report. Payroll, wage, and tax expenses should match payroll reports. Okay. Confirm payroll forms such as annual IRS Form 940 and quarterly IRS Forms 941 have been filed for the year. Key actions. Check for uncategorized, miscategorized transactions. Check tax filings for payroll. Make sure all contractors have been tracked for 1099 payments. Key reports, balance sheet, payroll summary by employee, profit and loss, 1099 contractor balance detail. Okay, so read that again. Key reports, balance sheet, payroll summary by employee, profit and loss, and 1099 contractor balance detail. Okay, so next one is evaluate accounts receivable and accounts payable. And let's make a screenshot of that. Okay. Confirm that all invoices for work performed or paid during the year have been recorded. Review the customer balance detail report in QuickBooks Online to make sure that payments are applied to invoices, uncollectible balances are written off, and the report total matches the accounts receivable balance on the accrual basis balance sheet. Likewise, confirm that all bills for purchases and services received or paid for during the year have been recorded. Review the unpaid bills report in QuickBooks Online to make sure that bill payments are applied to bills. Okay, review the unpaid bills report in QuickBooks Online to make sure that the bill payments are applied to bills. Paid bills have bill payments recorded instead of checks duplicating expense, and that the report total matches the accounts payable balance. That the report total matches the accounts payable balance on the accrual basis balance sheet. So key actions: check all purchase bills have been recorded. Check all payments received bills have been recorded. Key reports: accounts payable, including AP aging, accounts receivable, including AR aging, open invoices, unpaid bills. Okay. Analyze fixed assets and depreciation. Let's write this down. If clients made any large fixed asset purchases this year, they should be recorded on the balance sheet. Fixed assets should be identified for the purposes of calculating depreciation. This may not be recorded yet if the business is submitting the year-end information to their tax accountant to perform the calculation and record it as an adjusting entry once the tax return is generated. Key actions: review major expenses, record depreciation, review equity accounts, key reports, balance sheet, profit and loss. Okay. Next item is the run the taxable sales report. Okay. So and let's read this. Run the taxable sales report. Clients who collect sales tax should consult QuickBooks Online Sales Tax Center to view the tax liability, run a taxable sales report to review and pay the balance due based on their schedule. Key actions. Run the taxable sales report. Key reports. Taxable sales. ProAdvisor tip. You can find out more about year-end activities and also routine weekly, monthly, and quarterly accounting activities using the link below. There's also a heads up about important tax deadlines. So small business accounting checklist. I think this is going to be something important. Oh, God. Looks good. I need to bookmark this. Okay. Let's continue the lesson. Year-end accounting checklist part 2. Okay. Here are some more key tasks at year-end. Remember, not all clients will need all tasks to be done for them. Select the headings to find out more. So let's write the next one. Review year-end financial reports with your client. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. Let's make a copy of this, a screenshot of this. Okay. You'll need to help clients carefully review their year-end financial reports. This is what will be used to file their taxes and make projections for the next year. QuickBooks Online Management reports mean you and your clients can produce professional reports for a wide range of needs. Key actions. Produce any management reports. Key reports, balance sheet, profit and loss. Okay. Submit. Next one is submit W2s and 1099s. Okay. If clients had employees or some subcontractors in the last year, there are forms that business owners must report to reflect that they paid their workers. W-2s are submitted for employees and 1099s for subcontractors. These forms should be sent to individuals by the end of January. Let's take a screenshot of that. So, submit W-2s for employees, submit 1099s for contractors. All right. Review past due receivables. Review past due receivables. Check your client's significant past due receivable and decide whether you think customers will eventually pay and whether to send past due bills to a collection agency. Okay. Okay. Perform additional year-end activities. Okay. Insert. Screenshot. Okay. Perform additional year-end activities. Provide correct tax basis for a tax professional. Okay. Prepare asset list for depreciation calculation, prepare mileage log for auto expense deduction, provide required permanent docs for tax preparation, prepare line-by-line matching of draft tax returns, and make post-tax adjustments. Continue lesson. Reports and tools. Let's look at some of the key areas in QuickBooks Online where you will find the reports and tools for the year-end. Changes in the UI may not be reflected in the video. We'll just watch the video rather than reading this because I haven't found reading this to be that effective when I don't have anything to reference it to. So let's look at this. What are we doing again? Let's look at some of the key areas of QuickBooks Online where you'll find the reports and tools for year-end activities. Okay.
In Dan Chang's QuickBooks Online file, select the Reports Center from the left navigation. In the Reports Center, navigate to the For My Accountant section, where you'll find the key reports like the balance sheet report and P&L. Note the other reports that will give you summaries and detail reports, plus a range of other. You'll find the
go back here.
Reports Center from the left navigation. In the Reports Center, navigate to the For My Accountant section, where you'll find the key reports like the balance sheet report and P&L. Note the other reports that will give you summaries and detail reports, plus a range of other useful year-end data. Select the Balance Sheet report. Here, you can see Chang's Design's balance sheet. Know that you can set the dates to cover the whole year. Go back to the Reports Center. Select the Profit and Loss report. Again, note that the dates can be set to cover a full financial year for year-end. Now select the Accountant toolbox. Here is a variety of tools that can be used as part of year-end activities. You can also access reports here, including shortcuts to accountant reports, any custom reports, and tools to write off invoices or find deleted or voided transactions. Select the Reclassify Transactions tool. As the name suggests, you can filter transactions and reclassify any that have the wrong classification. We'll look at this later in the module. Now go back to the toolbox and select Prep for Taxes. Here, you can prepare a tax return using the built-in features, something we'll look at in more detail later.
Okay, perfect. All right, let's move on to the next lesson. Or next slide of the lesson. So, lesson check. Which of the following year-end tools would you find in the Accountant toolbox in QuickBooks Online Accountant? Prep for taxes. Tools to reclassify transactions. Tools to delete. No, I don't think that. Let's see if that's right. That's right. The Accountant toolbox contains links to reports and tools, including Prep for taxes, tools to write off invoices, tools to reclassify transactions, and links to your custom reports. All right. Let's see over here. So, ProAdvisor Challenge. For our ProAdvisor Challenge, we'd like you to use the Accountant toolbox to check out Craig's profit and loss report. Select the headings to find out more. The challenge. Go to Craig's file by using the link below. All right, so we'll do that. Select the gear icon on the top right and select sample company and then continue. Okay, it's not working. Let's try again. Site cannot be reached. Oh gosh. Let's try this again. Okay, that site is not working at this point, so we're just going to have to pretend that we did this. So what is the purpose? Let's see, select the gear icon on the top right and select sample company, then continue. Go to the Accountant toolbox and select the Accountant reports link. Go to the Accountant toolbox and select the Accountant reports link to the Report Center. Run a profit and loss account for the entire year of 2019. What is the total amount of discounts Craig gave to customers for the year? Okay, how did you do? The total should be $89.50, and you would see right here. ProAdvisor tip: how did you get? If you didn't get the same figure or got stuck, let's show how to do it. Once you're in Craig's via your QuickBooks Online Accountant file, select the Accountant Toolbox icon, which will be right up here. Select the Accountant Reports shortcut in the For My Accountant section. Select the Profit and Loss Report. Change the date range to cover the beginning to the end of the current year, and select Run Report. So let's take a look at that again. Maybe it will open up, but it's not opening up. So we're just going to continue. So summing up, learning outcomes. Well done. In this lesson, you've learned how to 1. Identify the appropriate key tasks, report, and tools for preparing a client's book for year or period end. Or 2. Recognize how to easily access period and year-end reports and tools via the Accountant Toolbox. So next steps in the next lesson, you will learn about the reclassification tool and how to reclassify translations. Okay, so we're just going to briefly go over there. It's only 4, so we'll complete this lesson over here and probably call it a night at this point. This probably will take 5-10 minutes. So reclassify preparing clients books. Now let's go back here, see how according to this is 10 minutes, but let's take a look. It's only 4 slides. Reclassify transactions. The story so far: as year end approaches, Dan is determined to get things right, but he's hit a problem. He thinks that some transactions may have been miscategorized in his expense accounts. There are a lot of them, and it would take a long time to identify and modify each one individually, so he asks for your help. How can QuickBooks Online help? As usual, QuickBooks Online can come to the rescue, this time with the Reclassify Transactions tool. This tool is only available to accountant users. The Reclassify Transactions tool is used to recategorize transactions in batches from one account to another, or one class to another if you have class tracking turned on, a QuickBooks Online feature. So learning outcomes. In this lesson, you'll learn how to 1. Understand why you might need to reclassify transactions, and 2. Know how to reclassify transactions. Topics covered using Reclassify Transactions. Continue lesson. So, using Reclassify Transactions. The Reclassify Transaction tool is a great way to review transaction activity for a given period and clean up any transactions that have been posted to the wrong account. Miscategorized transactions can be a disaster when you're trying to close the books at year end, because they make the financial information in reports and statements inaccurate. So whether it's just tidying up a couple of transactions or cleaning up large uncategorized expense accounts, the Reclassify Transaction tool makes short work of it. You can reclassify accounts on non-item based transactions, and you can reclassify the assigned class on both item-based and non-item based transactions. During the end of year review of Dan's books, we spotted a couple of transactions that were categorized to the wrong accounts. Chatting with Dan confirmed the errors, so now we can fix one using the Reclassify Transactions tool. Watch the video to see how it's done. The individual steps are below for you to follow. Changes in the UI may not be reflected in the video. So let's just watch the video rather than go through the steps down here. So what we're going to do is see the reclassified transactions tool in this video. So let's take a look at that.
From Dan's dashboard, select the Accountant Toolbox. Select Reclassify Transactions. In the Reclassify Transaction screen, you can select different views, like the balance sheet or, in this case, profit and loss. Keep the accrual button selected. You'll see a list of accounts to choose from on the left panel. Select Dan's private consulting meetings income account. In the main screen to the right, you'll see all the transactions for this account that Dan has recorded. Find check 116, a deposit for $820. This is the one Dan has posted to the wrong account. Check the box next to the deposit. Now select the Reclassify button. Select Social Media Services Income from the drop-down list. Select the Apply button. You'll see the acknowledgement that the transaction has been reclassified. If we check the Social Media Services Income account, we can see the deposit has been moved successfully. The power of this tool is the ability to batch reclassify, so if there were a whole bunch of miscategorized transactions, using batch functionality to reclassify them would save a lot of work. Find out more in the link and further resources.
Let me look at that again.
From Dan's dashboard, now select the Reclass. This is the one Dan has posted to the wrong account. Check the box next to the deposit. Now select the Reclassify button. Select Social Media Services Income from the drop-down list. Select the Apply button. You'll see the acknowledgement that the transaction has been reclassified. If we check the Social Media Services Income account, we can see the deposit has been moved successfully. The power of this tool is the ability to batch reclassify, so if there were a whole bunch of miscategorized transactions, using batch functionality to reclassify them would save a lot of work.
Let's continue this lesson.
Find out more in the link
check.
and further resources.
When would you use the Reclassify Transactions tool? Select all that you think apply to correct an insurance payment that has been miscategorized as an interest payment. That sounds right to me. To reclassify a non-item transaction incorrectly posted to reclassify a non-item. What's a non-item transaction incorrectly posted to uncategorized income? I don't think so. To change a payroll transaction showing a payment to the wrong employee. Yeah, I think so. Check my answers. I guess they're all correct. They cannot be. Okay, so let's try this. Okay, so what's going on here? Not quite right. Not all transactions can be reclassified. In payroll transactions, for example, payroll settings control this, so they can't be reclassified using the Reclassify Transactions tool. Okay, good to know. So it's going to be these two: to correct an insurance payment that has been miscategorized as an interest payment, and to reclassify a non-item transaction incorrectly posting to uncategorized income. Okay. The Reclassify Transaction tools allow you to find transactions that have been aligned to incorrect accounts or classes and reclassify them in batches. Not all transactions can be reclassified, such as payroll transactions, where payroll settings control this. I don't know what a non-item transaction is, though. Okay, but let's move on. Summing up, learning outcomes. Well done. In this lesson, you learn how to 1. Understand why you might need to reclassify transactions, and 2. Know how to reclassify transactions. In the next lesson, you'll look at how to help clients write off invoices to help their books measure up. Okay. So I think that was less than 10 minutes actually. So despite the fact it said it's 10 minutes, it was only a few slides. This is only a few slides as well. It's very brief. Let's go back to here. Well, since this looks like going to be another brief one, we're going to see if we're going to go ahead and finish up this lesson and then call it quit at that point. So, write off invoices. The story so far. Now and again, businesses have customers that do not pay any or all of their invoices. Once it has been decided that the balance due on these invoices is uncollectible, they should be written off. Okay. How can QuickBooks Online help? If you're called in to help QuickBooks Online can make working with problems invoices a breeze. The write-off invoices tool allow you to write off invoices or invoice balances in a batch. The tool instantly zeroes out the balance of the invoice by adding it to the discount field on the original invoice. Past due balances might originate with small dollar amounts not paid or old uncollectible invoices. Whatever the issue, the tool will get your client's account back on track in no time. Be careful when writing off amounts on invoices dated in prior periods or those with sales tax. You'll learn more about some of the implications of this in QuickBooks Online Advanced Certification. Okay. Learning outcomes. In this lesson, you'll learn how to 1. State why you might need to write off invoices, and 2. Recognize how to write off an invoice. And topics cover is writing off invoices. Let's continue the lesson. When might you need to write off an invoice? When a client has outstanding invoices that have not been paid. That sounds right to me. Other potential answers are when a client has invoices where the customer has overpaid, or when the next one is when an invoice has been sent out in error. That's right. When a client has invoices that need to be written off because the balance due is uncollectible. Writing off invoices. Dan has called and he has a problem. A couple of invoices in his accounts aren't going to be paid because the customers have gone out of business. Sometimes these things happen, and year-end is a great time to make sure any invoices that aren't going to get paid are written off. Watch the video to see how it's done. The individual steps are below for you to follow. So let's just watch this video regarding writing off invoices.
Select the Accountant's Toolbox icon. Choose Write Off Invoices. Notice that you can change the aging and/or due date and identify balances owed that are less than a certain amount. The invoices we're looking for are from 2017, so let's set the date to cover that year. Select the checkbox on the left next to each invoice. At the bottom of the screen, you can identify the account that the invoice will be written off to. Leave it as bad debt. Now select the Preview and Write-Off button. You'll see a pop-up summary of the write-off. Check it over, then select Write-Off. You get a pop-up completion notification to confirm it's done. And that's it. The invoices are written off and no longer appear in the list.
Okay, perfect. Summing up, learning outcomes well done. In this lesson, you learn how to state why you might need to write off invoices, and 2, recognize how to write off an invoice. ProAdvisor tip: when it comes to writing off invoices, this feature writes off balances to the original invoice date and does not adjust sales tax. It is not a credit memo on today's date hitting bad debt and being applied to what? It is not a credit memo on today's date hitting bad debt and being applied to the outstanding invoice. You may need to create credit memos dated in the current period that would also adjust sales tax if applicable. Next steps, great work. We can now move on and look at prep for taxes. Okay. And that's going to be it for tonight. We are edging out 40 minutes right now. We're coming around to 40 minutes. So it's late. It's almost 12 a.m. where I am currently located. So that's going to be it for tonight. But I hope you guys enjoy the content. If this content has been helpful to you, feel free to hit that like, hit that notification bell, and hit that subscribe button. That's going to be it for tonight. So you guys stay hustling out there. Work smart, work hard, and have a good one.